What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports. You're watching our Big Ten channel. It's time for my preseason power rankings in the Big Ten. Let's get right into it. We'll start at number 14, Northwestern. I think most people would agree this team belongs at the bottom. You know, this is a team that I actually thought had a chance to improve some this year before all the off-field issues came up and Pat Fitzgerald now gone. They brought in a transfer quarterback. They had some pieces coming back. I really thought Northwestern could be a 4 or 5 win team this year, but now, not so much. I think this team probably struggles to win a conference game again this year. Remember, they were awful last year, which still, I'm still scratching my head over that one. You come out and beat Nebraska and look pretty good, and then they were just awful the rest of the year. But no real reason now to expect Northwestern to do a whole lot this year. I've got them at the bottom. Number 13 is Indiana. Indiana is an interesting team. I actually don't think they're going to be terrible this year, but still, are they going to be better than the other teams in the Big Ten? I don't know. Taven Jackson comes in, transfer unproven quarterback. We'll see what he can do. They do have some pieces coming back, and again, I don't think they're going to be an awful team, but I'd have them below some of the other teams here. Especially the way they were finished last year. Number 12 for me is Rutgers. Rutgers going to have some pieces on defense. They're going to have a really good front seven. That'll be the strength of this team. But my concern is, can they score points? Can you score points here? They got a nice little stable of running backs. Can the offensive line open up the holes for them? Can Gavin Wimsatt step up at quarterback? Receivers, they don't have a whole lot there. So it's just an offense that I think is going to struggle. If they're going to win games, they're going to win lower scoring defensive battles this year. I think they probably at least get a couple of wins in the Big Ten, but still, I think they're behind these other teams. Number 11 is Purdue. Purdue is also an interesting one here because we don't really know what to expect from this team. You know, sometimes these first-year coaches can come in and have success right away, but we're talking about a guy first time as a head coach. A lot of roster turnover and a roster that really, if you look at recruiting rankings, Purdue has not recruited well. Jeff Brom did a lot with a little, and so there's not a lot of talent on this roster if you look at it that way, and they don't have a ton of experience coming back either. The defense hasn't been great for them. I don't expect them to be great on defense. Offense will be interesting. You look at the wide receiver position, need some guys to step up there, and you've got Hudson Card coming in, transfer. I think he'll do pretty well for them, but I think they're going to struggle. It's a mystery team for sure, but I'm leaning towards struggling for Purdue. I think they will not get to a bowl game this year. I've got them at number 11. Number 10 is Nebraska. The last few years, I have looked at this roster and thought, they have a chance to be pretty good. They've got a good roster. They've got some good players. Talent's there, but they just couldn't put it all together. Now you bring in Matt Rule, and if you look back at his other stops as a head coach, it's taken at least a couple of years. So I don't think they're going to be great this year. If Jeff Sims goes out there and he's a superstar at quarterback, which he's shown potential at times at Georgia Tech, they've got some pieces on offense. Defense has a chance to be pretty good. They have a chance to be a bowl team this year, but I don't think they're going to be able to do much more than that. So I've got Nebraska at number 10. Ahead of them, Michigan State. Mel Tucker now, is he on the hot seat after struggling last year? And if they struggle again this year, Peyton Thorne left. Quarterback position, definitely a concern. You're going to have an inexperienced guy there. But where I like Michigan State is on the line, at the line of scrimmage. Offensive line, defensive line, they look really good there. And the defense as a whole, I think this will probably be a top 5 defense in the Big Ten. Similar to Rutgers, I think they're going to struggle to score points. I think they'll be a little bit better than Rutgers offensively, and I think they'll be better defensively as well. That's why I have them ranked ahead. But a lot of question marks for Michigan State. We'll see if they can surprise and kind of climb out of this spot. But I've got them at number 9. Number 8 is Maryland. A team that some people are really high on. I'm not so much high on this team. I know Tagovailoa is back at quarterback. They've got some weapons on offense. They'll be good on offense. They'll be able to score points. But I'm more concerned with the defense. Not really a lot to get excited about there. And so I think it's kind of the opposite of Michigan State and Rutgers. They'll be able to score, but will they be able to stop anybody? We'll see. I've got Maryland at number 8. Number 7 is Illinois. So it's kind of a contrast here. One minute you're talking about a team that's going to have a good offense. One team's going to have a good defense. Illinois will be good but different than Maryland on offense because this is a team that's going to be able to run the football, I believe. but throwing the football might be a little bit of a question mark. You've got Isaiah Williams, a big-time playmaker at wide receiver. Luke Altmaier, the transfer from Ole Miss. We'll see if those two can get it going. But other than him, I don't know about the weapons on this offense. Who's going to step up there? I just feel like they're going to go back to old school Brett Bielema, ground and pound, run the football. Defense should be solid. It's a team that could be sneaky good this year. It's a team that I think is at least in the running in the Big Ten West. So don't count out Illinois there. I think I've said this many times. I felt like they were actually the best team in the Big Ten West last year. They have a chance to possibly be that again this year, but I'm worried about the offense a little bit and some pieces on defense that they're going to be missing. So I've got them at number 7. Number 6 is Iowa. Not really concerned about the defense. I think they'll probably be one of the top 5 defenses in the Big Ten. But it's the same story with them. Offense. Can they score points? They lost some transfers from last year, some guys that really contributed on offense, but they brought in Cade McNamara. I don't think he's going to go out and win games for them, but he might keep them, he's not going to lose games like maybe Spencer Petras did last year. Running game will be interesting. Offensive line, can they protect McNamara? Tight ends will be good. They'll have some weapons there, but it's going to be about the defense. And that defense, because of that, it makes them a threat in the Big Ten West. I've got them at number 6. Ahead of them at number 5. Actually, if Wisconsin doesn't win the West, I think it's going to be Minnesota. I'm starting to come around on this team a little bit more. They've got a lot of weapons on offense. They're sneaky good at wide receiver, and they've got a good running back group. Offensive line is usually pretty good. This is not going to be maybe one of their best offensive lines, but it's going to come down to the quarterback. Ethan Kaliak-Manis. Last year, he was kind of thrown in the fire, struggled, but if you look at his last game in the regular season against Wisconsin, he actually played really good in that game, and he can run. I was just recently watching that game, and I think there's a lot of potential there, and so I'm starting to come around on him more than anything. I do still have some question marks about the defense, especially that linebacker position. So it'll be a little bit different for Minnesota. It's not going to be the typical run the ball, play good defense type teams that we've seen in the past, which I think that's probably still going to be their strength. But I think they've got some weapons at wide receiver, and if they can get the ball to them, this offense could actually be pretty explosive. Let's go to number 4 now, Wisconsin. So this is still my pick to win the Big Ten West. Everything they have coming back, they have a lot of production coming back, and they've also added a lot of pieces in the transfer portal. Tanner Mordecai is an experienced, proven quarterback. New offense, going more to the spread. I think that's going to pay off for them. So you're still going to have Braylon Allen. You're still going to have one of the best running backs in the country. Now you're going to be able to hopefully throw the ball, an improved offensive line, a defense that should still be really good. Secondary, some question marks there, but front 7 looks really good. And I think because of all that and the schedule they have, they're going to win the Big Ten West. Can they do more than that? Can they be a top 15 team, top 10 team? I think there's potential for that. We'll have to wait and see. Number 3 is Penn State. So we all know the top 3 teams. You probably already know the order. Nittany Lions have a lot of pieces coming back. Defense should be really, really good. Going to be a lot of good defenses in the Big Ten. You're going to have Michigan. You're going to have Penn State. You're going to have Iowa, of course. You're going to have Michigan State. Rutgers is going to have a good defense. Illinois, you go through the list. Ohio State has a lot of talent on defense. Potentially some really good defenses in the Big Ten this year. I think it's going to be more of an old school year in the Big Ten, where we're not going to see a ton of points. We're going to see really good defenses. And Penn State definitely fits that. Running the football, that's another thing. A lot of really good running backs in the Big Ten. A lot of teams that want to run the football. Penn State definitely one of those. Drew Aller at quarterback. If he can be really good, Penn State can go to the college football playoff. They might even win a national championship if he's really good. I think he'll be good, but I don't know about really good. It's hard for me to project these guys that really haven't played any meaningful snaps. So I think Penn State's going to be really good overall as a team. Again, quarterback position could get them to that next level. We'll see if he's able to. Number 2 is Ohio State. We know about the offense. They're going to be good. They're going to have weapons all over the field. Offensive line has been a bit of a question mark at that tackle position this offseason. If they get that figured out and they can run the football, they're going to be the best offense in the Big Ten, probably by a lot. And then you look at the defense. Like I said, the pieces are there. They have the talent. and they have a defensive line, a pass rush that should be among the best in the Big Ten. So if they put it all together there, the offensive line takes care of business, Ohio State can win the Big Ten. I know they lost to Michigan the last couple of years, but they have the talent to be able to possibly beat Michigan this year, even in Ann Arbor. But for now, I'm sticking with the Wolverines at number 1. I've got Michigan as a number 1 team. No reason really not to put them at number 1. The defending Big Ten champs from the last 2 years. You've got the best, I think, what will be the best offensive line in the country. You've got the best running back duo in the country. You've got, some weapons at receiver and tight end, but some unproven guys. That's where they are going to have some guys step up. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to definitely improve this year. We saw flashes last year of him being really, really good. At times, he was inconsistent, so he's going to have to work on that. They need to throw the ball more during the season. You don't need to just run it, and then when you have to have it, you throw it. That's something that I'll be watching from them this year. And then defense, we know they're going to be really good. They'll be one of the top defenses in not just the Big Ten, but probably the country. So Michigan is number 1 in our preseason Big Ten power rankings. We'll be doing this every single week. We'll update it here on our Big Ten channel. Lots of more Big Ten content to come as well. So if you're a Big Ten fan, please subscribe. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching, and give us your thoughts on our Big Ten power rankings down in the comments below.